Oh, wow. Awesome. I see it. All right.
All right. Well, it looks like we're live. Good morning, everyone. This is Connie Hayworth, the Executive Director at St. Anthony's Senior Living. And I am delighted today to have Mally Covington with Patriot Angels with us. She is going to tell us everything we need to know about veterans benefits. These are fantastic benefits if you don't know about them. I don't know the details, but Mally sure does. She's been doing this for a while. So welcome, Mally. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Connie, and thank you everybody that is watching this on Facebook. What I'll do today is go over what Patriot Angels does and how we're able to help veterans and their surviving spouses obtain the VA benefit called aide in attendance. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for everyone. What we do at Patriot Angels is we assist with the application process. So we build that application for the families. We do the legwork. This is a benefit, aid in attendance, that is afforded for anybody looking into senior care, because this is what helps them supplement the cost of that. It's designed specifically for that. So I'll just go ahead and show a video. This is going to be our CEO, Suzette Graham of Patriot Angels, speaking briefly about what it is that we do. I'll go ahead and play that now.
Wonderful.
All right.
Patriot Angels is a consulting company, and we actually help veterans and widows get their benefits through the VA. It's actually called base pension with an upgrade to aid in attendance. If a veteran served at least 90 active duty days, one of those days during a declared time of war with an honorable general or medical discharge, they are potentially eligible for this pension. Then they have to be over the age of 65 and in need of some care. Unfortunately, so many veterans and widows have no idea it's even out there. They don't know how to obtain it. It would be like trying to do your taxes when you're 80 for the first time.
The VA is a huge organization, and there's a lot of red tape and a lot of bureaucracy that goes with being a big organization. They don't have bad intentions, but it's just difficult. And so a lot of veterans are not aware of the fact that they can get help. When my dad heard that he was going to get over $2,000, I think $600 a month, something like that, he cried.
A gentleman called us and he had finally got approved. He said I was eating every third day. My wife was in senior housing and I needed to make sure I had enough money that she could get paid for. And he said, you know, finally I can eat. Those are the people that fought for us. Our job is to serve them and fight back.
So, fun fact, everybody that's shown in that video, not only are they Patriot Angels clients, but we got them approved for the benefit. And Suzette went and visited them at their community where they're able to use that benefit, and they have that for the rest of their lives. So pretty special thing they were able to do there. And I'll go through and talk about the requirements for this benefit and who's eligible. And we'll start that as far as the age requirement. Like she mentioned, you have to be 65 or older, or 100% disabled, or completely unemployable. Now, when it comes to aid in attendance, they do consider it a benefit for wartime veterans, but all they have to see is that they served at least 90 days of active military duty, and just one of those days has to fall within a VA declared wartime. So they can see their active days on a discharge document. Now, a common one is called a DD-214. You know, there are different names to them, of course, if they were before that time, but that's where they can find those dates. And then we also, Connie, have a sister company because it's so common that people lose those over the years. They're not able to find those. We have a sister company called Angels Research, and they help clients working with us first research those dates, and then they can order a certified copy too if they decide to go forward, because you'll need that for the application down the road. So
Yeah, that actually happened to my father. He doesn't receive these benefits, but his records were in St. Louis, and a lot of those records burned up. And so his records burned up in that fire in St. Louis that burned all those veterans' records.
Isn't that crazy?
Korean War veterans, so.
Exactly. And then we'll look to see as well that they received an honorable medical or general discharge. So now those are, requirements that the Veterans Service includes, but there are some requirements for a surviving spouse as well for this benefit, and I'll just hit those. They had to have been married, the spouse, to the veteran at least a full year by the time they passed. They also cannot have divorced. That would make them ineligible. And if they say they remarried, they had to just remarry another veteran, because then we'll go off of that veteran service time. So can't be divorced. If they were to, be divorced or remarry after their passing, it's going to have to be just to another veteran. So those are the rules for the spouse. But here I have in front of me, these are the 2021 benefit amounts that a veteran or a spouse can receive. So these are the latest. They increase a little bit every year. So for a veteran with no dependents, so single veteran, they can receive $19.36 a month. Veteran with one dependent, married veteran, $22.95. Surviving spouse, $12.45, and then the max, which is a veteran married to a veteran, that is $30.71. This is
great benefits.
It is tax-free. This is distributed to their bank account that they then use to pay for the community. And this can go a long way to help pay for the care, so they're not spending down their own savings as fast. This is great, great benefit. It's just, getting the word out about it and how to, apply for it. So that's what we're dealing with there. And then I will go into with you, Connie, and the audience, the financial aspect and the requirements for that. So the VA does want to see that there's the need for this benefit. So they do have an asset cap. And that is at $131,000, just under that actually. But this is going to be what they're allowed to have up to that and still be eligible, the veteran and the spouse. It does include, checking, savings, IRAs, annuities, stocks, bonds, everything liquid. They're allowed to have a home, and a car. So that's exempt, but it's just everything else. So it can't, exceed that number. There's no income cap per se, but they do have to be paying equal to or more at the community for rent and care than they bring in monthly. So that's the rule of thumb there. Community has to cost more than they bring in. So, so that's as far as finances, the rules of thumb there. But there is a 3-year look back as well, as far as, gifting and things like that. So they just have to keep that in mind. And then, if they go to sell a home, I will say this, just reach out to us beforehand, because many times it's sad to say, but once they sell it, that goes to that amount, that 131, and that's what makes them ineligible for the benefit.
The liquid assets. Yeah.
Something could have been in place, to protect that. So I'll just hold off and just call us for advice, and we'll let you know what needs to be done there. So, but I'll go through with you, Connie, what it is that we do at Patriot Angels. So that's a great benefit from the VA, but it is not easy to get it by yourself. Many of the clients, that have come to us after they try to do it themselves, they were denied after trying for a year, 2 years. And then they finally were like, I can't do this by myself. So I'll tell you what it is that we do to secure the benefit. When anyone calls into us, they're going to go through 2 screenings. One's about 10 minutes. This is just to gather information on the service of the veteran, the finances, and their care needs, because there has to be some needs there. They can't just be looking for an apartment. It's got to be, some care needs to be involved. So we'll go over that. That takes about 10 minutes. Then if there's nothing there, as far as say they served during a peacetime, we would stop it there. None of their service was, during a war. We'll go ahead and tell them that they do not qualify. But then we'll move them forward. If everything looks good, we'll walk them through the aide and attendants, the rules of the benefit, and give them their final verdict from us at Patriot Angels on if they're eligible and a good candidate. So they'll hear it from it in 2 calls. And I think that's really, that's one of the best things about just reaching out. It's free of charge just to find out if you're eligible. A lot of people, they're told that they're not eligible when they are. We hear that all the time too, and that's sad. So we want to make sure that they get the right answers. So once they decide that, we tell them they're eligible, they want to move forward, have us apply for them, they'll then have an assessment with the attorney that we work with. She's actually a veteran herself.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we keep it, she's a veteran, she's VA accredited, she's actually co-owner with Suzette as well, and she does our long-term care assessments, meaning that she'll send out a report that's like 16 pages on why they're eligible. So while everything we do is mostly over the phone, we don't have anyone, we're in Nashville, Tennessee, as I said earlier, Connie. So we don't have everybody come into our office all at once. So we do it over the phone and email and fax and mail. But she sends out a written report to them in the mail stating their eligibility. So they have that for their records.
Nice.
And she also, they do research into any other benefits that are out there, state or federal, that they could also be eligible for, and let them know that too. So they do pay for that. We do have a fee, Patriot Angels, just because she has to, be on staff with us to be VA accredited. It's $9.95, but I let the communities that I work with and who I speak with every day, we have 100% success rate. So if you've gone through the screenings and we've deemed you eligible and you get to Victoria and her team and they tell you, we're going to go ahead and apply for you, that means we feel we can get you approved. So just want to let the people watching know that we have that 100% success rating with the applications we send in. So the reason why we're different from the VA is because we have a 90 to 120 day turnaround time with the applications we send in. And it's because they're done right the first time. Many people, when they do it themselves, if they put a 0 in the wrong spot, they, fill out a form wrong, it comes back denied, and now they're gonna have to go back and forth with the VA to appeal it. So, and it's crazy. I spoke with a lady probably 2 weeks ago. She's a teacher, and she's been going back to a full-time job, been going back and forth with the VA since 2018 for her mom to get her the surviving spouse benefit. Still has not gotten it. And because it's an open claim, we can't step in and take it over for her. So I would hate for anybody to have to go through that. She could have been getting this benefit a long time ago. So
and just the stress of dealing with all that.
It's terrible. And I will say, when you work with us, once you become a client, you're assigned one person that is your coordinator. So you're not going to have to speak with someone new every single time you call in. You have the one person that does your application for you. They'll fill you in on anything that's needed on their end. That could be, like bank statements or mayor's certificate, things like that. But the rest we do ourselves. So they know that if they're going to call in to Mally at Patriot Angels, they're going to reach me. They don't have to reach John and Mary and Joseph, So,
right.
I know, I'm just like, but yeah, they'll reach Mally, and Mally's going to be the one that's going to give them the answers that they need. But once we build that application, send it in, like I said, 90 to 120 days is our average. And then once they're approved by the VA, that's their benefit for the rest of their life. They can have that to pay for their care. They can, protect their savings and not have to spend it down so much. But it's a great benefit. We're good at getting people the benefit. It's just about getting the word out there and making sure that, we can help some people. So this is Suzette right here, who you saw in the video. This is the CEO of Patriot Angels. I just wanted to give you a little background about her as well. She has a great heart and just built this company because she saw some places that were taking advantage of veterans and didn't want that, and wanted to give a resource to communities and to other people to be able to send their veterans to. So this is her, great person, and just wanted to show that as well.
Wonderful. Very nice.
Well, thank you, Miss Connie. And do you have any questions for me?
Now, one question I have, Mally, is the benefit itself, would that be for assisted living, memory care, or are there benefits that will help with what we call independent living?
So back in 2018, they did allow independent living communities to be eligible for aid and attendance. because they allowed it to be, if it's a protective environment, independent living can get it, which means if there's 24-hour staffing at that independent living community, if there's, a buttons push or a pull cords pulled, a staff member is going to be the one that responds at all hours of the day to that, the individual. That allows them to be considered a protective environment, which was the law that was included in 2018. So we do apply every day for independent living clients based off of that law change in 2018.
Yeah, I think there are people that avoid starting with independent living. They're saving their money for assisted living because or skilled nursing or whatever it is in their mind where they're going to end up. Getting into independent living earlier, really what we see is that their health maintains so much better because they do have people who are watching out for them. They do have a way to get well-cooked meals because it's so hard to cook for one person.
Yeah.
So, they get good nutritious meals. They have the socialization. They have an area where they can exercise if they choose. And so, I know people put it off, but really it's to their benefit to come sooner. So that's great that, the VA benefits, the aid and attendance benefits will cover that.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, how we have the screenings up front, we'll ask about the community they're looking at, and ask about the staffing that they have, make sure that it works, because if they're looking and it doesn't work, we'll let them know that. But like I said, everything as far as if they're eligible and where they're living works, we give them all their answers front end, free of charge, no cost, and that's why I encourage anybody just to call in, see if you're eligible. This is a benefit. If you're not getting it, what hurts just to see if you could. So that's a great question you had about independent living, and I'm glad you asked that because a lot of people are under the misconception that they can't get it. So so that law did change, and that helps a lot of people be able to receive that.
Now, are there any benefits? Will aid and attendance pay for any services in the home?
So it does cover in-home care. There's some things that have to be in place, got to make sure that they come in, a certain times a week, and make sure again that they're paying for, the care more. The care costs more than what they bring in. So that still has to be all the things up front that would be for assisted living, independent living. That still has to be in place, and for the in-home care too. And same thing, we'll just ask, how much, are you paying for this care in the home? We'll let them know if that works or if they need to, add on some additional services there too.
Yeah. Well, that's great because that's, how some people stay in their home longer, which we know is always their goal. And then they can come see us.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you making time for us. Now, if we have people who have questions and want to get in touch, how do they get in touch with Patriot Angels?
So they can call our main line, our main number, that is 844-757-3047. They can always reach out to me, my email, I'll go ahead and say that out loud as well. They can email me at m.covington@patriotangels.com. And Connie, anybody that reaches out to you and wants to know more as well, please let me know, and I'm happy to give them a call, or they can talk to me and we can, get them started to see if they're eligible. I don't mind at all.
Yeah, and I'll put your email address and your phone number in the comments below. Okay.
Thank you so much, Connie.
Thank you so much. Stay warm down there. We were talking about how freezing we are.
I hope you try to get the third pair of long johns on.
I'm gonna get that third pair of long johns on. I'm telling you, it's gonna take it. It's supposed to be colder next week than now. I don't know.
You don't have to bring them out.
I'm a big baby when it comes to this cold weather.
You do. Well, thank you, Connie, and thank
you for being here. You have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.